We had a lot of success. We had millions of views. We had big brand deals with Ford. On The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, MTV called. Hey, we want to do a reality show on your artwork. They had the show edited, ready to air, and then my producer called me back and he said, hey man, we shelved the show. It really messed me up for a long time. I started freelancing. We just rode around in Rolls Royces all day, Bentleys, private jets, yachts, like that was his lifestyle. This is just so unfulfilling.
Wow.
And I was like, man, if I had this guy's money, I would just give it all away. God kind of challenged me from that moment where God was like,
Well, hey, welcome to the One Step Podcast, where we share stories of change makers in different fields. So you don't have to wait one day, but you could take one step today to create a change both in your life and in the lives around you. And today we have an in-person conversation. This person is a very highly creative person, and what I like to say, likes to give both Oprah and Jimmy Darts a run for their money in terms of his generosity. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to some and introduce to others. Make some noise for Travis Doodles.
thank you for having me. That's funny you said Jimmy Darts, because a lot of people say that I'm like the bootleg version of Jimmy Darts.
Definitely not. You definitely have your own flavor and style to it. And Travis, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, for listeners and viewers who may not be fully aware, who don't consider you a bootleg version of Jimmy Darts, tell us about your story, your upbringing, the most helpful context that can help us understand where you are today.
Yeah, so I'm originally from New Jersey. I did not grow up in church at all. And I actually went to a high school, like, I don't know what it was, a college fair or something. And they were talking about colleges. And they had one for Florida. And I was like, man, Florida, that looks like, good, like parties, beaches, all that stuff. And I was not a Christian at the time. So every intention to come to Florida was for the wrong reason. But I said, man, I want to go to Florida. And the brochure just looked so pretty. And so I went to college down here, and I never left. I just stayed. I had one winter here, and I was like, I'm never going back to New Jersey again. And I literally have never been back. I haven't even visited. Yeah, I just never went back. So I've been in Florida for like 20 something years now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You cannot. Once you come to Florida, you cannot go back anywhere else.
No.
That's why all the snowbirds come here and just never.
Yeah. It's awesome.
No, that's awesome. Now, Travis, right now we are at Flavor Fest, the urban ministry conference in Tampa, Florida. And you had a workshop earlier today where you were sharing your creative journey. You're very well known on social media. Let me ask you, what's the story that led you to being where you are today when it comes to in terms of social media?
Yeah, so in 2009, I was actually a YouTuber, and I was making videos with my best friend where he would rap and I would paint, and we would do like 90s cartoons, nostalgia type stuff. And we had a lot of success. We had millions of views. We had big brand deals with Ford, Jolly Rancher, Hulk Hogan, on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. I was hanging out with every celebrity I've ever wanted to meet. And it was just really empty and like just not fulfilling. Like I thought once I, did all these things, it looked really cool to the world, but like it was just kind of like chasing the wind. It was not fulfilling. And I was like, man, I got to keep chasing the next high. So I'm like, well, maybe if I accomplish more, then I'll be happy. And I was like, all right, let's do a show on MTV. I don't know how that's going to happen, but like I want my own reality show on MTV. So I just kind of just spoke it, and we kept doing YouTube. And then in 2012, I got a phone call, and MTV called.
Wow.
And they said, hey, we want to do a reality show on your artwork. So I was like, whoa, that worked. Like I thought about it. I went and achieved that goal, and like this is it. I'm going to be famous. I'm going to,
that's incredible.
Change my life and all this stuff. And I was a barber at the time, and I just quit my job right away. Like as soon as I got that phone call, I said, hey, I'm in. And I went out to California. We filmed a reality show for 3 months, 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. I mean, it was very, very taxing. And they had the show edited, ready to air. And then my producer called me back, and he said, hey, man, we shelved the show.
Wow.
So I was like, oh, man, like I was banking on MTV to have my own reality show. And that was going to be like my start to fame and all this stuff, and I just quit. I just said, man, like, I can't do this anymore. I just was so embarrassed because I was telling everybody, oh, I'm going to be on reality TV and blah, blah, blah. And I just felt so discouraged and disappointed. And I just deleted everything. I deleted all of my YouTube. I deleted all my videos, all just disappeared from social media completely. And I took a break for 10 years. As soon as I quit social media, I went back to cutting hair, and I just lived a simple, normal life. And I just felt empty, like I don't know. It really, really messed me up for a long time. And then a couple years went by, and I would say some healing happened. And then I picked the camera back up, and I was like, you know what? I just want to make videos again. And I started freelancing, just doing commercials for local businesses. I wasn't trying to put myself out there for me as the brand, but I just wanted to just like make stuff for other people. And then this guy who's a multimillionaire, he saw my work, and he said, I will give you 6 figures to drop everything and be my personal videographer.
Oh my gosh.
So I was like, wow, that's the most money I've ever made before.
Yeah.
And it was an easy job. I mean, we just rode around in Rolls Royces all day, Bentleys, private jets, yachts. Like, that was his lifestyle, and I was getting to live it through him. And I was still empty. Like this is just pointless. Like, all the content he was making was about like business and just trying to get rich. And I'm just like, this is just so unfulfilling.
Wow.
And he showed me really quickly that money does not buy happiness. And I just was feeling like, man, like, what is going on with my life? Like, I have to figure this out. And I had a conversation with a friend, and I was like, man, if I had this guy's money, I would just give it all away. I would just make people happy. I would just like do all this cool stuff. And God kind of challenged me from that moment, where God was like, if you're not giving money away now with the little that you have, you're not going to do it when you have millions.
Wow.
And that totally rocked my world, where I was like, man, like, what do I do from here? So I went back to work, and I was sitting in his Rolls Royce, and I was just like, I can't do this anymore. And I felt like God was putting it on my heart to quit my job and start giving away all my savings. And I was just like, what? That just makes no sense at all.
That's absolutely wild.
It was totally wild. And I'm pretty sure, it was God at the time, where I'm like, man, I hear like God's voice, like telling me to do this, because it was so heavy on my heart. And then I went home and I told my wife, and I thought that she would talk some sense into me, but she was like, yeah, do it.
Oh my God.
And I was like, what? Like, you're supposed to be the one that levels me out, and you're telling me to go do this crazy thing. So I went to work the next day, and I quit my job. I didn't really have a game plan, and I quit. I said, I can't do this anymore. And I left. And I just started doing street ministry, where I would go out and I would just talk to strangers that I saw wherever, grocery store, on the corner, didn't matter, just a human that I felt like God led me to when I would pray, like, God, put the right person in front of me. And I just started giving away thousands of dollars a week to strangers. And since I love making videos, I'm like, let me document it. And it's funny you mentioned Jimmy Darts, because he was kind of like a little bit of an inspiration to like, man, like, I can do that. And, I love Jesus, and maybe I'll do something like that. But Jimmy Darts, he has a different style. His is more like fun and entertaining, and does like games and stuff like that. I was kind of more just like, let me go talk to this person, meet a need that they have. And it was, same kind of umbrella, but just different style.
Yeah.
And I just went for it. And I was like, okay, this is really fulfilling. I love this. I love helping people. I love making videos. And like, let me see where this goes. And then I decided to start a nonprofit.
Wait, hold on. You got to slow down real quick, because during this process, you're giving thousands of dollars away, and you're not making any money.
I had no money coming in. Zero.
And obviously you felt like this call to this by God himself, and your wife even gave her approval for this and to challenge you, and you already took that step, and you're already taking this first step. Okay, like, hey, I'm going to go onto the street and meet people where they're at, give money to resource them. But what's going through your mind at that point, again, while there's no money coming in?
Yeah, it definitely got a little scary because I'm like, I'm not getting any views. I'm not like, and I didn't even do it for the views. Obviously, views help to encourage you, like, hey, people like your stuff, or, money will come in or whatever. But I wasn't even getting views. So I'm just doing it because I felt like God told me to do it. And I was willing to go the extra, mile of like, hey, I'll do it. I'll do anything you tell me to do. And I feel like this is it. And I got a little scared because I'm like, all right, I'm running out of money. And I started this thing. So if I stop, number one, I'm stopping what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing. But number two, it's just like, wow, Travis went through another weird phase where he just tried to do something and then he just stopped. And I was like, but I know I'm supposed to be doing this. So I kept going, and I was on my last couple dollars basically. And we started a nonprofit because I'm like, well, this is our opportunity. Let's start a ministry and maybe we can do this for the rest of our lives. And as soon as I was almost out of money, a video went viral and it got 20 million views. Yeah. And all these donations started coming in because we were an established nonprofit on paper. So the paperwork went through, we were legit. And then people just started donating because they saw the consistency of all the months of me doing this.
Wow.
And they're like, wow, this is pretty cool. And then that one video took off, and then people just started trying to be a part of it and through the donations. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. This is so much traffic and so many people want to give towards this. So I didn't really know where it was going. And I just said, well, let's just keep doing this. And then things started snowballing, and more videos started going viral, and more money started coming in. But from day one, we set it up where 100% of the donations goes back out to the people. So I still didn't have any money coming in. I just didn't have to use my savings for the videos. So I'm like, well, how the heck am I going to make a living? And since we got so many views and things were escalating so quickly, I became a YouTube partner. And then YouTube was paying me enough to pay my bills, which YouTube Shorts does not pay a lot of money, but the amount of views that I was getting, it was enough to pay my bills. So I was like, man, okay, so now I'm doing YouTube full time for money, and then the donations can still go back out to all the people. And then it just kept growing and growing and growing. And then literally in a year and 4 months, we went from 0 to over 8 million followers across social media.
That's insane.
So it was super wild. So yeah, back in the day, I was a YouTuber, and then I thought that was it. And then I was supposed to be a YouTuber all along, and God just had to rebrand it. And 10 years of growth, just learning more about God and Jesus, and getting my heart right. Because before I wanted the fame, and then after the 10 years went by and I got back on social media, I truly wanted nothing but Jesus and just to do ministry. And I feel like God was like, okay, now it's your time. And he made up for all of the lost time, because 10 years is a long time to be off social media, to bounce back bigger than ever. And I was like, whoa, this is insane. And that's just God for you, man. Like there's so many people that think that they missed an opportunity and that's it. But no, God can snap his fingers and you are 10 times further than you could ever be doing it without him. I mean, it's just absolutely wild what he's done with this ministry. We've gotten homeless people off the streets. People have gotten saved, baptized. Just watching the transformation has been unbelievable. And God is just using this ministry. He's using social media. The ripple effect of people watching the videos. I have so many kids that are like, man, I watch your videos, and now I bought somebody lunch. I did this, I did that, because they watched the videos, and now they're intentional about being generous and helping people. And that's my favorite part about it, where it's like this ripple effect of just influencing a younger generation that kindness and Jesus is cool.
Yeah, man, there's so many great things within that. Two things I want to highlight is, one, the fact that earlier on you were not getting views that you were hoping for, and that two, as you just mentioned, Jimmy Dars, he was an inspiration for you, and you didn't allow the fact that he was already in the space doing what similar to what you're doing to discourage you from even getting in the first place. Yeah, because I think that's oftentimes, especially when it comes to social media, content creation, whatever the case might be. And we see the same thing with music and so forth. If there's an artist or creator who's already doing it, a lot of us sometimes can feel like, oh, well, somebody's already doing it. What could I contribute or what value can I add if someone else is already doing it? And as you just pointed out, I mean, Jimmy Dars, he just has his own different style, but you bring your unique personal style that he can't bring. You know, and there's not even competition of who's better or anything like that. No, like there's enough room, there's enough abundance for everybody to partake. And so even within, as you're just pointing out, how in those 10 years, there's a lot of growth within that.
Yeah.
I think oftentimes that in those seasons that we might find ourselves and we think, nothing's going on. What good could come out of this? I think you are a testimony that even within that space, there's still purpose. God is able to redeem that for better.
Yeah, he literally makes up for lost time.
Yeah.
You just can't feel like you're wasting time because it's his timing. So he can escalate you so quickly. And I never saw it coming. And now we have, the ministry's growing. We have an ice cream truck. We have a building in downtown with a barbershop inside for free haircuts, a podcast studio, an event space. I mean, it's just like, wow. I did not see that coming. I just quit my job to give people money and help people. And then it turned into this full blown ministry reaching millions of people. And, now I'm an ice cream man. It's just wild.
I also want to highlight that even though you got those latter results in a very short period of time, your success was not overnight. Yeah. I think it's inclusive of the 10 years and everything else.
Yeah. It took 15 years to figure out how to do this in a year, basically. Yeah, it was not overnight. It was many, many years of just growth and figuring things out. And I mean, people think, they're like, man, you blew up so fast. And I'm like, bro, I was making videos in 2009. I had hundreds of videos before I even made a video for this ministry. So it is not like I just blew up out of nowhere and it was an accident.
Yeah.
Like, this was a lot of work, blood, sweat, tears, heartbreak, everything. Like,
you've had an incredible impact through your ministry, your online ministry, not only for the people you serve, but also the people that you're inspiring online. But not everybody is celebrating that impact. Talk us through what was your process in reconciling the negative comments, and what advice would you give to people who are looking to get into the space of online content creation and so forth to prepare themselves for any negative comments they might receive?
Oh yeah. So there's a lot of negativity in the comments of my videos. Whether that's just like, people saying that I exploit homeless people, or I'm doing this for clout, or, whatever they say. And, it's fine. That's their opinion. Absolutely not true. But, they put me in the same category as the people that do that. And all I do is I just document what my nonprofit does. So when I hear these negative comments, it doesn't affect me anymore. It definitely, when somebody's talking bad, like, just human nature, you're just like, wow, why would you say that? That's not nice. But you get to the point where you're so focused on your mission, and for a fact that God put this on your heart and this is what you're supposed to be doing, that it's all noise. You get thick skin, and everything, positive or negative, is all noise. I don't care if somebody says, wow, this video is amazing, I love what you do, or they say, you're a terrible person, you exploit people, you're a fake. It doesn't matter. It's all noise. My audience is God, and if I am in right standing with him and I'm doing it with a pure heart, I could care less about the negative comments, because it's literally just noise. It's all it is. And I definitely encourage people to feel the same way. I mean, I just always talk about this. Like, we're all gonna die. You're gonna die. None of this stuff matters as far as people's opinions, or you feel like you look stupid, or, just whatever. Nobody's thinking about you when their head is on the pillow at night. Like, they're thinking about their own lives, their own problems, and just internet comments are nothing. And usually it's somebody that is commenting like that doesn't do anything for anybody. Like, there's no way that someone who's like doing great things would sit there and badmouth someone on the internet and hit enter. It would never happen. So if somebody's going to say something bad about you and leave it in the comments, that says so much more about them than it does you. So right away, I just feel bad for them. I'm like, man, this guy must really be going through something that he felt like he had to make a video about me to expose me or to leave comments of how bad of a person I am for helping people. I'm like, this is just twisted. So to me, it just speaks volumes about the person who left the comment. And I just pray for them like, yo, you got to be miserable and going through something to badmouth somebody and hit enter. It's crazy.
Yeah, that really puts
It doesn't process in my brain that you could do that to somebody.
Yeah, that really puts things into perspective, and I think that's super helpful for really everyone listening, and to witness that from your story. And I think one thing I'll say too is, I think when it comes to social media, we only see what people post, but we don't see what's privately going on in their own lives. What they do behind the scenes. Again, here at Flavor Fest, I won't give specific details, but I'll just say, for me, as someone who's attending, it's been cool to see, just observing from afar, how you actually took time to serve others behind the scenes, not in front of the camera, and so forth.
Yeah.
And
that's what a lot of people get it twisted. They think that I'm kind of like these other YouTubers. I mean, whatever. I don't know what they do, but they think that all I'm doing is just making videos.
Right.
And I'm like, bro, if you had any idea how much ministry we do off camera, you would never, ever say that again. I mean, I'm talking 90% of the stuff we do is off camera.
Yeah.
We run a legit nonprofit. I don't make videos of taking people to their cancer treatments or giving them haircuts all the time or feeding them or listening to them on the phone for 2 hours about what they're going through. I don't film that stuff. And people think that I just make a highlight reel of me helping somebody and then put it out and then that's it. And I'm just trying to get famous and get money. And it's like, no, we are running a nonprofit. We are doing ministry full time. And all I'm doing on social media is giving small highlight reels of the stuff that our nonprofit does. This is not for YouTube. It just happened that YouTube blew up and has brought more traffic to the nonprofit. But I'm not just making videos and then I go to sleep at night. Like, this is a full-blown ministry that I do all day long, and I have dedicated my life to the people that I serve 7 days a week. Like, this is not some YouTube channel to just gain. It's just not. But people will always have their opinions, and it doesn't matter. It's all noise, like I said.
Yeah.
It just doesn't matter.
That's good. That's really helpful. Travis, a final question that I like to ask. Who is one guest that you would love to see on this podcast, and what is one question you'd like to ask that guest?
Wow. I think since we talked about him already, I would say Jimmy Darts. I think it'd be cool for him to be on there. And then I would, if I could ask him any question, what would it be? It's kind of funny because, like, me and Jimmy, we know all the same people. I mean, I'm friends with his brother-in-law. I talk to his brother-in-law on the phone, like, so, but I've never talked to Jimmy, never reached out to him. So I'd probably ask him, like, want to collab? Like, we both love Jesus. We both make similar videos. Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know why we haven't already.
There you go. All right. Yeah. That's super cool. Travis, what's the best way for listeners and viewers to get in contact with you, to follow your work?
Everything Travis Doodles, travisdoodles.com, and then Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. It's all the same, Travis Doodles.
Perfect. Well, Travis, thank you so much for sharing your story. I know that our listeners and our viewers are definitely better because of it. And it's so evident, just because of the character of your life, that God's hand is over your life, and that truly your best days are ahead of you and your nonprofit. So just know that we as a community, honestly, are here to champion your story.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you for having me.
Well, to everyone, till next time. Thank you for tuning into One Step. It would mean so much if you subscribe and leave a review on your favorite platform, as you'll be a part in promoting this show to becoming better and bringing you practical insight. If you'd like to get in touch with me, you can visit onesteppodcast.com, where you'll find helpful links such as following our social media pages, and even leaving a voice message to ask questions and give feedback. Who knows, you might get featured on a future episode. Overall, thank you. And remember, change begins and continues with one step.